32.
Okay, so my invocation roll is, and I am again going to use a no. Actually, I'm going to use a point of luck. I'm not going to meta it. I'm going to use a point of luck
Okay.
to swap those over to 54.
54. Okay then. So he has a willpower 32. He gets a 28, but you are so he makes his willpower, but it's opposed by yours. So you are actually higher, and you sort of like, but you do feel that resistance. You haven't sort of like slipped in. He almost like tries to resist you, and you sort of like up it a bit to really sort of like power into his brain and start to read, to look at his surface thoughts. And initially, the thoughts that you encounter is you see them almost like being scared when they're stuck and thinking, oh my good gracious me, I can't move from this, and the surrender. Then it slowly goes,
so it goes
back, and it goes back to the emotional part when he found that his purse was taken, and then it goes back a little bit further, and you see him laughing at Mr. Bartleby when he's with the urchins, and some not very nice thoughts going through, and then you see him when he was having that conversation with that Hazra was near, and right down the docks, and he's having the conversation, and you pick some information up there. You do hear that the drop off is at 10 bells. He's saying to the people, make sure you get it there by 10 bells. And at that point, there seems to be no indication of, he's not telling them where. They seem to know it. And you sort of like go even further back, and you go through a time that they seem to be on board ship, and there's a storm. They seem to be at another town at one point that you're not too sure about before, and you just sort of like keep plowing through the memories, going deeper and deeper and deeper, and going through his thoughts, and eventually you're almost like back in Lindo, and there's massive jumps. The jumps are getting bigger and bigger, and you see him talking to two men in a tavern, and they seem to be making an arrangement to enter the sewer system in Lindo, and you sort of like see that, and the guy's picturing when he's talking about it, the circular entrance to the sewer system in the slums that actually is like water flow straight out into the sea. And so there's a circular tunnel. It looks quite big. You can sort of like see people standing on it, but you can also see there seem to be some kind of raft and some kind of like a stick to push. And then at that point, his memories become all sort of like jumbled, and you're suddenly waking up in bed next to a woman, and then there's suddenly a seagull flying overhead, and all of a sudden there's a picture of his mom or something like that, and you suddenly think, whoa.
Can I not go to refocus back to and maybe get more information of, like a street name or a name of a tavern maybe that close to where this sewer entrance was?
There doesn't seem to be there. You can see the general area, but there doesn't. The slums are not places that will have street names on it. But you would be familiar about it. And just roll your streetwise skill for me.